Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Radha Sama Sundara, Radha Sama Sundara. Jaya Gaurav-nitāy, 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 Jaya Gaurav-nitāy. Nitāy Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahams Parivrajagacharya Astadharvada Srimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Skan Sanstha Bhagacharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya Vishnupada Paramahams Parivrajagacharya Astadharvada Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Sarvi Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jaya Ananta Gaudi Vaishnavrinda ki Jaya Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा देवी जमुना देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय श्री तुलसी महारानी की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री प्रभुपाद ट्रांसजेंडरल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय श्री श्री गौरनिताई की जय श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर विशाखा देवी की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र महारानी की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories always to Guru and Gauranga. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire nashtaprayesu avadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistike mukham karati vachalam pangulangayate girim yatkripatamaham vande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Sri Paramananda Madhavam. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 75, text from 1 to 15. So, at first I will read the verses and translations up to text 14, then 15th verse we will recite together. śrī-rājovāca ajāta-śatros dṛṣṭvā rājasūya-mahodayam sarve mumudire brahman nṛ-devā ye samāgatāḥ duryodhanaṁ varjayitvā rājānaḥ sarṣayaḥ surāḥ iti śrutaṁ bhagavaṁs tatra kāraṇam ucyatām. Translation. Mahārāja Parīkṣit said, O brahmana, according to what I have heard from you, all the assembled kings, sages and demigods were delighted to see the wonderful festivities of King ajāta-śatros rājasūya sacrifice, with sole exception of Duryodhana. Please tell me why this was so, my lord. śrī-bādarāyaṇir uvaca pitāmahasya te yajñe rājasūya-mahodayam bandhavā paricharyāyam tasyasan prema-bandhanāḥ. Śrī-bādarāyaṇir said, at the sacrifice of your saintly grandfather, his family members, bound by their love for him, engaged themselves in humble services on his behalf. Purport. King Yudhishthira did not force his relatives to accept different tasks at the sacrifice. Rather, out of their love for him, they volunteered for such duties. Bhimo mana sattvaskyo dhanadaksho Duryodhana sahadevastu pujayam nakulo dravya sadhane Guru sustrasane jisno Krishna padavane jane Pariveshane drupadaja karnodane mahamanaha Yudhano vikarnascha hardikyo viduradaya Ballika putra bhuryadya yecha santardanadaya Nirupita mahayagya nana karma sutestada pravartante sma rajendra ragya priya chikirsava Bhima supervised the kitchen. Duryodhana looked after the treasury, while Sahadeva respectfully greeted the arriving guests. Nakula procured needed items. Arjuna attended the respectable elders, and Krishna washed everyone's feet, while Draupadi served food, and generous Karna gave out the gifts. Many others, such as Yudhana, Vikarna, Hardika, Vidura, Bhurishrava, and other sons of Ballika, and Santardana, similarly volunteered for various duties during the elaborate sacrifice. They did so because of their eagerness to please Maharaj Yudhishthira, O best of kings. Ritik sadasya bahubhischu śrutamesu shisteshu sunruta samarana dakshinavi chedaicha sattvatapades charanam pravishte chakru statastavabhuta avabhuta snapanam dinadyam After the priests, the prominent delegates, the greatly honored saints, and the king's most intimate well-wishers had all been properly honored with pleasing words, auspicious offerings, and various gifts as remuneration. And after the king of Chedi had entered the lotus feet of the Lord of the Sattvatas, the Avavruta bath was performed in the divine river Yamuna. Purport. The gifts offered to the distinguished guests included valuable jewelry. Text 9. Mridanga sankha panavam dhunduyānaka gomukha baditrāni vichitrāni nedurāvo vrutoscave. During the Avavruta celebrations, the music of many kinds of instruments resounded, including mridangas, consoles, panavas, dhunduris, kettle drums, and gomukha horns. Nartakyo natruto hrishta gayakavu Yuthaso jaguhu binavena talo nadaste sangsa divamaspruthat. Female dancers danced with great joy and choruses sang, while the loud vibration of binas, flutes, and hand cymbals reached all the way to the heavenly regions. Chitra-dhoja pataka-grairivendra-sya nandana syandana-vabhi solankruter-bhater-bhupa niryayurukmamalinaha. All the kings wearing gold necklaces, then set off for the Yamuna. They had flags and banners of various colors, and were accompanied by infantrymen and well-adorned soldiers riding lordly elephants, chariots, and horses. Yadu Sunjaya Kamboja Kuruke Kayako Salaha Kampayanto Bhuvan Sainir-yajamana Purasara. The massed armies of the Yadus, Srinjayas, Kambojas, Kurus, Kekayas, and Kosalas made the earth tremble as they followed Yudhishthira Maharaj, the performer of the sacrifice, in procession. Sadasvartirgat Dvijastrashta Brahma Ghosena Bhuyasa Devarsi Pitru Gandharva Tushtu Pushpavarshinaha. The assembly officials, the priests, and other excellent brahmanas resoundingly vibrated Vedic mantras, while the demigods, divine sages, pitas, and gandharvas sang praises and rained down flowers. Salankruta nara-naryo gandha-sagbhushanambarehi bilimpantyo vishinchantyo vijahu vividairasai. Men and women, all adorned with sandalwood vest, flower garlands, jewelry, and fine clothing, sported by smearing and sprinkling one another with various liquids. Text 15. Taila gorasa gandhoda haridra sandra kunkumai pumbhir lipta pratiyam pralimpantyo bijahru varayositaha. Okay. Maybe one devotee can recite this verse. Then we will go read the translation in purport. If anyone wants to read this verse,
Sanskrit?
Yeah.
Taila gorasa
Tailagorasa Haridra Sandra Kunkumai
Kumbir Liptas Pralimpantyo
Pumbhir Lipta Pralipanto Vijahurvara Yositaha. Translation. The men smeared the courtesans with plentiful oil, yogurt, perfumed water, turmeric, and kunkuma powder, and the courtesans playfully smeared the men with the same substances. Purport. Srila Prabhupada describes the scene as follows. The men and women of Indraprastha, their bodies smeared with scents and floral oils, were nicely dressed in colorful garments and decorated with garlands, jewels, and ornaments. They were all enjoying the ceremony, and they threw on each other liquid substances like water, oil, milk, butter, and yogurt. Some even smeared these on each other's bodies. In this way, they were enjoying the occasion. The professional prostitutes were also engaged by jubilantly smearing these liquid substances on the bodies of the men, and the men reciprocated in the same way. All the liquid substances had been mixed with turmeric and saffron and their color was a lustrous yellow.
Great topic for
Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental. Okay. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sriyutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavaṁsya Śrī-rūpaṁ sagrajatam sagana raghunatha nitantam sadīvam sadvaitam savadhutam pariyana sahitam Krishna chaitanya devam śrī-rādhā Krishna pādam sagana lalita śrī-viṣākhānitam sa He Krishna karuna sindhu dīnabandho jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanasate Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahārāja Krishna prema-bandhanāḥ Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratise Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurav Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here in this chapter, again, the Avruta wedding process has been described by Srila Sukadeva Goswami, though he has already described this in the previous chapter. So the reason is that Parīkṣit Maharaj has asked a question to Srila Sukadeva Goswami. In the previous chapter, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, while describing about the rājasūya sacrifice and how the guests were happy and how they were rewarded profusely, and after the Avruta bathing of Maharaj Yudhishthir, they all went back to their respective places. But while describing this, Srila Sukadeva Goswami just mentioned about Duryodhana. So he said that all the personalities were very happy in this rājasūya sacrifice except Duryodhana. So he said that all were satisfied except sinful Duryodhana, the personification of the age of quarrel and the disease of the Kuru dynasty. Duryodhana mrute papam kalim kuru kulamaya. he could not bear to see the flourishing opulence of the sons of Pandu. So Sukadeva Goswami just mentioned this about Duryodhana, that everyone else was happy except Duryodhana. So then, in this chapter, beginning of this chapter, next chapter, 75, Parīkṣit Maharaj posed a question to Srila Sukadeva Goswami that why Duryodhana was not happy. What happened to him? Though when everyone was happy, everyone participated in this rājasūya sacrifice with great joy, why Duryodhana was not happy? Though Sukadeva Goswami just mentioned that he was the disease of the Kuru dynasty and sin personified. So actually Duryodhana was an expansion of Kali. So he was representing actually Kali. And because Lord Krishna came to this material world to relieve the earth from its burden by killing all these sinful kings, those who were actually demons but posing as kings. And Duryodhana, he became a means to fulfill Krishna's desires. So here we see that Duryodhana was not happy in this sacrifice, rājasūya sacrifice, by seeing the opulence of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Because he was sin personified and he was very, very envious of Maharaj Yudhishthira. And when he saw the opulence of Maharaj Yudhishthira in this rājasūya sacrifice, he was more upset, he became more envious. That is the nature of envious people. When they see the opulence of someone else, they become very envious. And when they see more opulence, they become more envious. In that way, they burn within their heart. And that's why they cannot attain at any moment. It has been described that disataha parakayesu manina virnadarsina bhutesu baddha vairasya namana santi mritsyati. That anyone who is very proud, very egoistic, he does not see that the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides within the heart of every living entity. They don't see that. That's why they become envious towards other living entities. Disataha parakayasu manina vinnadarsi. So because they are proud of their position, so they don't see that I am sitting, Krishna is speaking this. They don't see that I am sitting in everyone's heart. They see that other living entities are different from me. So in that way, bhutesu baddha vairasya, they develop a constant enmity towards other living entities. And as a result, they would never attain peace in their life. So Duryodhana's situation was like that. He was never peaceful. Because he was envious and always trying to harm the Pandavas. So he was never peaceful. always he was planning with his mama, his uncle Sakuni. So they are planning all the way how to harass the Pandavas, and by harassing them they can become happy. So here, when Duryodhana came to this rājasūya sacrifice, as we all know, there was a division of the kingdom, of the Kuru kingdom. Because though Maharaj Yudhishthira was the rightful heir of Kuru dynasty, after the passing away of Maharaj Pandu, he was the eldest son of Maharaj Pandu. But Dhritarashtra developed the desire that now my younger brother is gone, I am the elder brother, I should have been the king of Hastinapur, but because I was blind I could not become king. But now Pandu is dead, so my son should now become the king. This was the ulterior motive of Dhritarashtra. And Duryodhana, because he was very proud and envious of Pandavas, he also wanted to usurp the kingdom from the Pandavas. So he wanted to become the king of Hastinapur. But Yudhishthira Maharaj was the elder brother. He was elder than Duryodhana. And he was the rightful heir of Maharaj Pandu. That's why Duryodhana he could not fulfill his desire. But then there was this quarrel was going on in Kuru dynasty, and later on it was decided by the elders that instead of fighting between two families, let us divide the kingdom. In that way, Duryodhana's intention will be fulfilled. He will become the king of one portion of the kingdom. Yudhishthira Maharaj will become the king of another portion of the kingdom. So the Kuru kingdom was divided. And Hastinapur was given to Duryodhana. Because Dhritarashtra was there, Dhritarashtra remained the king, but after him then Duryodhana would take over. So Hastinapur remained as it is, and the one portion of the kingdom which was practically useless, full of forests and hills, and that was Indraprastha, the present Delhi. So this person was given to Maharaj Yudhishthira, where there was no one, full of jungle and hills, and nothing was produced in that land. So that type of a land was given to Maharaj Yudhishthira for his kingdom. And Maharaj Yudhishthira was so surrendered. He accepted the decision of the elders. Whatever the elders decided, Yudhishthira Maharaj accepted. And when they came to now Indraprastha, that time it was not Indraprastha. It was just jungle and hills, mountains. So the Pandavas came and they thought, this is our destiny, this is our fortune. We have been destined to develop this place, which has nothing, no habitation, nothing is produced from that land, and there was no rain, so there. So they accepted that, but they depended on Krishna. because they were all great devotees of Krishna. And they knew that Krishna would help them. So anyway, the Pandavas actually developed that land. They asked Indra to send rain, and then they asked Mayadana to build a palace for them. So Mayadana built a palace for them, and then they developed that city, gradually developed Indraprastha. That became Indraprastha. They developed in such a way that this Indraprastha became very, very opulent. And then Lord Krishna suggested Mahārāja Yudhishthira to perform this rājasūya sacrifice. To establish Mahārāja Yudhishthira as the emperor of Indraprastha. And to perform rājasūya sacrifice also, Mahārāja Yudhishthira had to defeat all the kings who had not surrendered to him. So we already read about Jarasandha and others. Shishupal was also killed in the rājasūya sacrifice itself. So Mahārāja Yudhishthira then performed rājasūya sacrifice. So his glory was spread all over the world because of this rājasūya sacrifice. And Lord Krishna also wanted to glorify Mahārāja Yudhishthira. So the Kauravas, they came from Hastinapur to attend this rājasūya sacrifice. And Duryodhana, because he was envious of Mahārāja Yudhishthira from the very beginning, so when he saw the opulence of Mahārāja Yudhishthira, he was not very happy. He was thinking, if we send the Pandavas to a place which had nothing, nothing was there, but now they have built a palace, big palace, and they have vegetation, they have established so many villages, and so many people are living here. This is just like Swarga, a heaven. They have made it a heavenly kingdom. So he became more envious. So when Mahārāja Yudhishthira, though Duryodhana also accepted some service, he was in charge of the treasury of Mahārāja Yudhishthira during this rājasūya sacrifice. So, though he was performing this service, but he was burning within himself, seeing the opulence of Mahārāja Yudhishthira. So he was not happy. And when Sukadeva Goswami told this thing to Mahārāja Parīkṣit, that everyone else was happy, but Duryodhana was not happy. Then Parīkṣit Maharaj asked this question, that why Duryodhana was not happy. So he says that ajāta-śatros dṛṣṭvā rājasūya-mahodayam. So Mahārāja Parīkṣit is addressing King Yudhishthira as ajāta-śatros. Means his enemy is not born. Yudhishthira Maharaj, he did not consider anyone as his enemy. Though Duryodhana was acting as his enemy. Though he was his brother, still he was acting as his enemy. He was very envious of Mahārāja Yudhishthira. He was a wicked person, but still Mahārāja Yudhishthira was very favorable to Duryodhana, in spite of his enmity towards him. That's why it's called ajāta-śatros. He doesn't consider anyone as his enemy. So the enemy was not born for Mahārāja Yudhishthira. That's why Parīkṣit Maharaj is asking that ajāta-śatros dṛṣṭvā rājasūya-mahodayam sarve mumudire brahman nṛ-devā samāgatāḥ duryodhanaṁ varjayitvā rājānaḥ sarṣayaḥ. So Parīkṣit Maharaj asked that everyone became very pleased by the hospitality of Mahārāja Yudhishthira in this rājasūya sacrifice, except Duryodhana. So you told that except Duryodhana everyone was very much pleased. So what are the reasons why Duryodhana was not happy? This is the question in the beginning of this chapter to Sukadeva Goswami by Duryodhana, Parīkṣit Maharaj. So now Sukadeva Goswami is describing the reason. So before describing the reason, he is now again describing the process of rājasūya sacrifice, how at the end of rājasūya sacrifice, Mahārāja Yudhishthira went to take avavrita snan. Means at the end of rājasūya sacrifice, the bathing process called avavrita takes place. So that is the end of rājasūya sacrifice. Because before commencing this rājasūya sacrifice, one has to take an oath. And then at the end, by avavrita snan, then he is released from his oath. So, Sukadeva Goswami now describing that how all these people who came to rājasūya sacrifice, they accepted different services of their own. Voluntarily they accepted these services. Mahārāja Yudhishthira did not engage them in particular service. All these people, they accepted these services of their own. So it says, Bhima Mahānasa. Bhima was in charge of the kitchen. We all know Bhima is Brukodhara. He is also voracious eater. And those who are voracious eater, they know also how to cook also nicely. So Bhima was in charge of the kitchen. That was natural for him. He was a good cook also. Not only eating, he was a good cook. So he was taking care of the kitchen and feeding everyone nicely. And Duryodhana Dhanadaksha. Duryodhana was also in charge of the treasury. And Duryodhana, of course, accepted this service of his own. And Duryodhana had a lotus on his hand, palm, Padma. And we all know Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of wealth, also holds lotus flower on her hand. So Duryodhana, he had a lotus symbol on his palm. That means when he will handle any amount of wealth, it will increase, it will not decrease. So, rājasūya sacrifice means so much wealth was spent. So, Duryodhana was in charge of treasury, so the treasury will never be empty. So, this is a good service he did for Mahārāja Yudhishthira. But he was burning within his heart. That was his problem. Because he was envious of Mahārāja Yudhishthira, envious of his opulences. So then Sahadevastu Pujaya, and Sahadev, he was taking care of the guests. When guests are coming, because he could recognize who is who. So then he was putting them garland, putting them sandalwood pulp. In that way he was receiving guests. Nakula Drabya Sadhana. And Nakula, he was arranging all the ingredients for sacrifice. So Nakula was very expert in selecting the ingredients. Good ingredients, bad ingredients. He was very good in that. So he was arranging all the ingredients for the sacrifice. And Guru Sususane Jishnu. And Arjuna, he had taken the charge of hospitality of the elderly people. Guru Varga. So he was taking care of them, serving them nicely. And Krishna Padavanejan. And Lord Krishna took this charge which no one else took. Washing the feet of the guests. Because this is very humble service. And generally people are not so humble. There is some pride in them. That's why Krishna, though he is the Supreme Lord, full of all opulences, but he was taking the humble position to teach the whole world. So he was serving, he was washing the feet of the guests. So this is the humility Lord Krishna showed by his own example. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinada Vishnu. Because this humility can bring all good qualities in man. And this can bring devotion. The best quality is devotion. Devotion to Lord Hari. Unless we are humble, we cannot develop devotion to Krishna. So Lord Krishna is setting the example by washing the feet of the guests. Parisevane Drupada. And the daughter of Drupada, Draupadi, she had taken the charge of serving prasadam. She had a benediction that does not matter how many people come. She would serve unlimited quantity of foodstuff to any number of people. She had this benediction. So she took this charge of serving prasadam. And some acharyas, because it is said Drupada Ja, some acharyas say dṛṣṭvā was son of Drupada. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami, they all refer to Draupadi, because Draupadi had this benediction. Karna Dāne Mahāmana. And Karna, he had taken the charge of giving charity. Karna was very famous for giving charity. Every day, after taking bath, he would do Surya Puja, and after worshipping Lord Sun God, he would give charity. Anyone would come, whatever anyone asked, he would give. So he was very famous. That's why he was called Dana Veera, who was a hero in giving charity. So in this way, all these people, their names were described, that they had taken charge of different things. And then the procession for Avavruta bathing has been described by Srila Sukadeva Goswami. So how the opulence of Mahārāja Yudhishthira has been described by Srila Sukadeva Goswami, how Mahārāja Yudhishthira was opulent. Now how opulently with procession with all the kings and their armies and the drums and other bugles, all these things were sounding, and the demigods from the heaven, they were showering flowers, and the procession was going to Yamuna to take bath. And then there is description how they are throwing colors and other things, liquids on each other. So all these descriptions are there. So all these descriptions have been described, all these things have been described to show that Duryodhana, who was envious of Mahārāja Yudhishthira, he saw the opulence of rājasūya sacrifice. He became envious. He saw this opulent procession of Mahārāja Yudhishthira going to take Avavruta bath. So he became more envious. So these things have been described to show the mental condition of Duryodhana. How his enviousness was increasing one after another towards Mahārāja Yudhishthira. And then the description would come later on that after the rājasūya sacrifice, when everything was over, then how Duryodhana went to see the palace of Mahārāja Yudhishthira, which was built by Mayadana. And he was completely moved seeing the opulence of that palace. Though he was envious of Mahārāja Yudhishthira, and always he was very angry. He was in angry mood. So the description would come later on, how he was behaving with doorkeepers. He had a sword in his hand. He was angry on everyone, whomever he saw in the palace. And then, in one incident, Mayadana, he had made that palace in such a way that people who would come to that palace, new people, they will see the land as water and water as a land. And this thing happened to Duryodhana. Somewhere he saw water, that's why he lifted his garments, but that was land. But then in another place, there was actually that was actually water, but he saw as land. And he fell off, because of water was there. And then the others, Bhima and others, those who were watching this, they started laughing. Whereas Yudhishthira Maharaj forbade them to laugh, because that was very insulting to Duryodhana. But Krishna was encouraging them, okay, laugh. He was signing them, you laugh. Because Krishna had this intention that let Duryodhana burn in the fire of enviousness. And that will be the cause of the destruction of the Kuru dynasty. All the kings who are supporting Duryodhana would come in the battle of Kurukshetra, and all will be killed in the battle of Kurukshetra. So Krishna's purpose will be solved in one place at a time. That was the intention of Krishna. That's why Krishna was encouraging them. You will laugh. So he'll become more envious, become more angry, then he'll devise some plans how to harass the Pandavas. So this was the cause that Duryodhana became more and more envious, and then Mahabharata started later on. Hare Krishna. Okay, so all the seniors are here. Any comments? Yes.
Palace in your Junior, in your prosper, there was a big enough palace for the rājasūya sacrifice.
Yeah. Duryodhana made that palace for Maharaj Yudhishthira.
A lot of people were.
Very wonderful palace. Duryodhana was surprised to see that, yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the class. It's very wonderful. My question is how to deal with envious people. I think all of us are facing envious people. What's the best way to deal with them?
Actually, we have 6 enemies we know. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. And Narottam Das Thakur has written about 5 of them. How to utilize Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada. But he has not mentioned about envy. Kama, Krishna Karmarpane, that verse is there. That how we can utilize lust, anger, greed, and ego in Krishna's service. But for envy, Narottam Das Thakur did not mention anything. Actually, the verse initially, in the beginning, I told that Lord Krishna says, envious people, they don't see me sitting in everyone's heart. That's how they become envious to other persons. So that means if we start seeing Krishna in everyone's heart, Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart, at least we accept this. Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart, even if you don't see it. But at least we accept this, that Krishna is sitting in my heart, Krishna is sitting in someone else's heart, everyone's heart. So if I am becoming envious to someone, actually I am becoming envious to Krishna. And that is the reason that we have come to this material world, because of this enviousness. Because we have become envious of Krishna, that's why Krishna said, okay, you don't want to serve me because you are envious of me, go to the material world and see if you can enjoy without me. So we have all come to this material world. And coming here, we have become envious of Krishna, then we are becoming envious of other living entities. In that way, we are suffering in this material world, birth after birth. So unless we repair this mentality, or change, purify this mentality of becoming envious of Krishna and other living entities, we cannot make any progress in spiritual life. And to see Krishna in everyone's heart, or at least we understand this, that Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart. If I become envious of him, then I am becoming envious of Krishna. Then I I will be suffering life after life. Because of that, I am suffering already by becoming envious of Krishna. And then I become more envious. I go on suffering life after life. And to see Krishna in everyone's heart, how it will come? Through the association of devotees. When we associate with devotees, those who are not envious, then naturally we will also develop that characteristic of not becoming envious of all other living entities and try to understand that Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart, Krishna is also in my heart. In that way we can at least purify our that envious consciousness by associating with devotees of Krishna, those who are not envious, and at the same time chanting the holy name of the Lord. Associating with the devotees and chanting the holy name of the Lord without offense. Then naturally our heart will be purified. This enviousness will go away. So to chant the holy name in the association of pure devotees. That is the way to get rid of others.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna. You said that Duryodhana is sin personified. And how is it that he's a friend of Balaram, or Balaram is a friend of Duryodhana?
He's not friend of Balaram, he's disciple of Balaram. He went to Balaram to learn the art of mass fighting. So he approached Balaram and he pleased Balaram in so many ways. So Balaram was very merciful to him to teach him the art of fighting with mace. But still, though Balaram was merciful to him to teach the art of fighting, but when Balaram saw that Krishna is supporting the Pandavas, then Balaram did not come to support Duryodhana. He went for pilgrimage. He did not stay for the battle of Kurukshetra. He was not there. And at the end, when Bhima and Duryodhana, they were fighting with mace. And Krishna was there. And Bhima, actually Krishna instructed Bhima, gave him, he signed him to hit Duryodhana on his thigh. Because that was the portion which was not immunized. Because Gandhari, by her sight, she had immunized the whole body of Duryodhana, except this thigh portion. Because she had told Duryodhana to come to her naked. So she would open her blindfold and see Duryodhana, then Duryodhana's whole body will be immunized. But Krishna came in between. Krishna asked Duryodhana, "Hey, where are you going naked?" Then Duryodhana said, "I am going to see my mother." So you are going to your mother naked? So Krishna laughed at him. Then Duryodhana felt insulted. So he put on something. So that's why that person was not immunized. And Krishna knew this. That's why Krishna told Bhima, you hit in that person, thigh person, he will be dead. But it was against the principle of match fighting. You cannot hit here. You can hit above. And Balaram knew this thing. Balaram arrived at the end when this fighting was going on, and he saw Bhima was hitting Duryodhana on his thigh. Then Balaram protested. No, you cannot do like this. But when Krishna supported Bhima, then Balaram went away from there. He did not say anything. Because he cannot go against Krishna. In no way Balaram can go against Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki Jai Sri Gaurav ki Sri Krishna Balaram ki Jai Sri Radha Shyam Sundar Tarisaga ki Gaurav Bhakta Vrinda ki Nitai Gaur Premanande